Hello, my name is Jacob Rico, and I will be presenting my fitness education presentation for Kinesiology 562. First thing I'm going to go over is my health and movement assessment through the FMS testing. The first thing I'm going to do is skip to the last bullet point and kind of talk about the positives and what my client did pass with the FMS testing. She showed proficiency in the following movements: the inline lunge, the shoulder mobility test, the shoulder clearing test, active straight leg raise, spinal extension clearing test, rotary stability, and the spinal flexion clearing test. My client showed that she has great mobility for her lower body. Where she lacks is her T-spine mobility, which was shown in the deep squat when she couldn't keep the dowel in front of her feet through descension. This could be due to a lack of core strength, which obviously shows her T-spine mobility inefficiencies. She also failed the trunk stability push-up, which according to Cook et al. Is due to the fact that she can't react and resist extension forces. And taking all these into consideration allowed me to implement this 8-week plan, which is going to come next in the periodization part. But overall, my client is a beginner with weightlifting, a beginner in the weight room. Most of her exercises have been all patented towards the athletics that she went through college, which is cheerleading and dance. Much of it was more cardio based, much of it was more stretching, keeping flexibility, so that's why she was able to pass proficiently through many of the tests, because of her ability to be flexible and show her hip mobility through the inline lunge and so on and so forth. So as far as the periodization goes, we'll go on to that next. We'll go over her training goal, which is to increase the barbell squat by 10 pounds in 8 weeks, which I think would be pretty easy to do. That being said, being new to weightlifting and new to compound movements especially, understanding the form and understanding the proper way to go about these lifts and feeling comfortable in them will only allow her to progress quicker and more efficiently as she goes through the plan. As I said, her training status is beginner, so the plan itself is an upper and lower body alternating split. I use the upper and lower body split because it allows my client to recover from the previous lifts and focus on one section at a time. Of course, I understand that with DOM setting in for a new lifter, especially if the lifts are heavy, the plan itself allows me to be adaptable and to understand my client and see where her sorenesses are or her weaknesses are, and kind of tailor and mold the plan as it progresses to cater to her recovery and her comfortability. And as she gets more comfortable, we can advance and add more weight and increase the weight as we progress through the plan. Again, the plan itself also has a very even mix of accessory and compound movements to reinforce and support muscle groups, while also targeting the areas that need improvement. This is, of course, the plan is going to be both hypertrophy focused lifts while also focusing on power and power production to increase that barbell squat, and also her other compound movements throughout the plan, while also sprinkling in core workouts daily to reinforce that core strength to improve her T-spine mobility. And also through the warm-up, which I have handy right here, also allows her to reinforce these good habits. The warm-up itself is going to start with a stationary bike for about 10 minutes just to get kind of engaged, get the heart going, break a sweat before she starts progressing through the warm-up. It's also going to start with a three-way ankle rock, one set, 5 each side. She's also going to do side lunges every day, 2 sets of 8 each side, to open up the hips and allow herself to be ready to go for whatever lower body workout or whatever kind of hip mobility she needs to do to attack the workout of the day. Also a one-legged hip lift 2 times each side. She's also going to have a bent over raise, external rotation, one set of 8, and then a quadruped T-spine rotation as well, which is just furthermore going to reinforce that T-spine mobility, which is where she really lacks as we progress through this plan. The next page here is going to be kind of a sample of 2 days of the workout plan. As you can see, day 1 is more of an upper body focus. We're tackling dumbbell row, standing overhead press, dumbbell bench, lat pull down, tricep extension, tricep cable extension, and then obviously a plank to end it up. My thought process with this is not so much to focus on one muscle group like most people do, a chest day and then a back day and then a arms day and a shoulder day and then a leg day or whatever. I want her to experience all these lifts on a day like this while I monitor her weights and allow her to reinforce the habits of, or the comfortability really of each form of each workout, and we can tailor it and change it as we progress. But this allows her to kind of attack the entire upper body on one day, and then the next day, as you see in day 2, kettlebell goblet squats, single leg RDLs, Bulgarian split squats, barbell glute bridge, a stability hamstring curl, attacking pretty much all the muscles in the lower body of more of an accessory movement, but also like the kettlebell goblet squat, reinforcing that proper squat form, getting her comfortable, feeling resistance through these movements, so that when we do progress to the bigger compound movements such as the barbell squat, the deadlift, so on and so forth, leg press, bench press, whatever it may be, she feels comfortable doing it with a good amount of resistance, 60% intensity of a one rep max, so it's challenging enough to reinforce those good habits, so that when we do progress to a 1 rep max or increase weight however we want to, she understands the form and understands the coaching cues that allows her to reinforce that form and to also progress to the plan. That being said, talking about exercise technique, now in the videos here, the audio isn't the greatest. We were in a busy gym at the time, but as you can see, we did the deadlift and the dumbbell bench. Her struggles with the dumbbell bench, or the deadlift, I apologize, we're mainly focusing on knees out to externally rotate the hips and provide more adductor and external rotation to the movement. Especially when we added resistance, her knees started to kind of narrow in. The bar started to, come away from the body, so she wasn't keeping it tight, keeping her core tight and pushing through the movement while keeping her T-spine and her back and her lumbar nice and straight through the movement all the way up, and then letting it down. One coaching cue that I think helped her out as well, once we added resistance, and as we add resistance going through the movements, or going through the plan, I apologize, is to pull a little bit of slack before she pulls the movement. A lot of the time when we were in low resistance, it was really easy for her just to pull it straight up and straight back down, which didn't really allow her to see those inefficiencies with her movement. So when we added weight, just pulling straight up can put a lot of pressure on the back. So kind of feeling that click of the bar as she pulls the slack allows her to know that, okay, it's time to engage and time to perform this lift. And once that is, she keeps her core tight, knees out, push through her legs, keeping that bar as close to her shins and as close to her body as possible to the top, and slowly back down. Then progressing the dumbbell bench, as you'll see, she does a better job in this video as previous to the previous video, but the big inefficiency here with her dumbbell bench was keeping the dumbbells at a 45-degree angle and kind of feeling her elbows like linked to her lats. She had a tendency when she would be up at the top of the movement, when she would slowly descend with the dumbbells, it would slowly come towards her face, putting a lot of pressure on her rotator cuffs. And obviously, as we add weight, this is going to put a lot of strain on the rotator cuffs and honestly lead to injury. So, again, being a beginner in weightlifting, she doesn't understand a lot of these coaching cues. And we worked through them, as you can see in the videos, and you see a little bit of the adjustment that she makes. But the big thing is, too, without the, I guess you'd say, muscle development or the feel of the muscle development, she can't feel that the lats as she comes down, and then as she presses through, feeling the chest, with the eccentric hold as it comes to the top, and feeling that press at the top. A lot of the time it would get just kind of wobbly. A lot of it was because of her, inefficiency in her core and inefficiency in her just arm muscles in general, arm strength in general, as it would descend and it would come towards her head. So the big thing was really focusing on the 45-degree angle through the movement, descending in the lats and almost feeling that push through the lats and into the chest, and then obviously slow descent through, exploding. Because when we started with low resistance, it was very easy for her to just kind of go through the motions and go real quick. As we added resistance, really focusing on that slow descent, that eccentric movement all the way down, and then exploding through the top. Moving forward here, application and faith integration. I myself am a baseball coach at the junior college level, so the main reason why I've been getting this degree or focusing on this degree is so that I'm able to get a class, and that class for us is a 6:30 a.m. weight class where I will be running the weights, weight training for our entire baseball team. and that means, putting together plans for everybody. Usually it's team wide, not so much individual focus, but throughout that plan we obviously, talk to people individually, talking over form, whether it be incoming freshmen coming in or sophomores that are here, obviously developing them in different ways, but at the same time kind of having the same, identity as it is with the entire team in the weight room. And so that would be my responsibility, especially going into this fall, and learning all of the stuff that we've been learning throughout this entire program and implementing it into the players and implementing it into the plans that we will be putting forth to develop our young student athletes into, four-year collegiate athletes and potentially professional baseball players. My big issues, or my big problems as of right now, is, recognizing these inefficiencies and then applying the proper lifts and coaching cues to correct them. I've been getting a lot better at them. Obviously, a lot of it has been reliant before this program on just what I've felt and what I've, my own personal experiences throughout weightlifting, through baseball, and being in weight classes and weight training and understanding what I feel as an individual. The big thing that I need to learn is now, how can I tailor it for them and find the proper coaching cues so that they can understand it better. And the big thing too is like realizing where there's mobility issues and how can I diagnose that problem and then fix that inefficiency into an efficiency. And again, to attack that, is implementing research to my own life and inefficiency so that I can feel the improvements and better explain to my players or future clients. So what I mean by that is, most of the best strength coaches I was ever around could demonstrate it. They've been through the problems that I as a player was having and could work through it with me. And that's the big thing that I need to work on coming into this next fall, is implementing a lot of the stuff that I am seeing, whether it be in this class, whether it be seeing with my players, implementing it on myself, going to the weight room, getting back in shape, and finding these inefficiencies in my own body, and then relating it to my players, and relating it to, so that they can develop and I can develop at the same time. Going into faith integration, I have 3 Bible verses here that kind of pertain to just general, applying, I'll just go with the first Bible verse. Or do you not know that your body is a temple of Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from God? You are not your own, for you were bought with a price. This is, again, as a Christian, or as a person of faith in kinesiology, understanding that we're on borrowed time. We're here, and there's such a we have such a temptation to do the wrong things and not understand what we derive from, and that we were put on this earth to do the right things in the right way. And as a kinesiologist, or as a weight trainer, or as a coach, reminding these players that there's a better good and a reason why they're there, and a reason why they were given this body, and a reason why they were given these talents, and a reason why they were given this beautiful opportunity to live through God and His image. The next Bible verse is, a servant of the Lord must not quarrel, but must be kind to everyone, be able to teach, and be patient with difficult people. This comes with really anything in life. Patience is extremely important, especially for me in my job as a baseball coach with incoming freshmen or kids with attitudes, or whatever the case may be. Maybe they don't take a liking to my coaching. It's all about being patient and understanding them and being kind to them, not lashing out on them and not being mean to them and discouraging them, because there could be a deeper issue with them that maybe I don't know. And being patient with the training, being patient with the coaching, and understanding of where they are at in their lives and where they're at in their development, and finding a way to attack that in a different way maybe than a different player, and finding a way to develop them each individually as their own individual human beings. And the last Bible verse I'll go over is, a joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. It's very easy as a human being, day in and day out, to be tired and show your emotion on your sleeve. But especially as a coach, we're not only managing players, we're not only managing human beings or whatever. I need to understand that they have their own problems, and if I come every single day with a joyful heart and understanding that they have all their own problems, and continue to encourage and continue to motivate, I can also change a life. Now, at the end of the day, we're playing baseball, or we're developing human beings, or coaching weight training, but we're also helping foster relationships and helping young human beings, or just human beings in general, develop emotionally and spiritually. And so I think that's a lot with what that Bible verse has to say. And with that being said, that is all.